Going to go to business now on the programme. Stephen Carroll is with us here on set. Starting in the US, Apple, Stephen, planning to build 3 new factories.
That's at least according to President Donald Trump. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, he says that Apple boss Tim Cook promised him the iPhone maker would build 3 new manufacturing plants in the United States. The majority of Apple products are currently made in China, but in May of this year, the technology giant announced a $1 billion fund to invest in US companies that do advanced manufacturing. Apple has so far declined to comment on the president's interview.
Let's go to Britain now. The government's set to announce a ban on new petrol and diesel cars. This is from 2040, isn't it?
This is part of a clean air strategy to be unveiled later today in Britain. The commitment follows an announcement of a similar plan here in France to phase out diesel and petrol cars. The UK plan is to include also investment in cycling facilities, charging stations for electric cars and money for building greener buses.
Back to France, latest unemployment figures. Actually some good news for the government here.
That's right, there was a small drop in the number of people registered as unemployed in June, just 0.3% though. There are still almost 3.5 million people on the live register in France. Meanwhile, those looking for work are increasingly turning to social media to find jobs. Emerald Maxwell has the story.
Whether it's Facebook, Instagram or Twitter, checking social media is a reflex for millions of people. But more than just to pass the time, it's become a recruitment tool and a jobs goldmine for 30% of applicants. They say it makes looking for work more efficient and more flexible.
I have the LinkedIn app on my phone, which means I can check and apply for jobs on the go, wherever I am.
But it's not just LinkedIn. This bank has used Twitter, Monster and Facebook to recruit. It says it's the best way to reach younger people.
It's become old-fashioned to go on company websites individually and upload a CV and cover letter. Things move quicker now, and we have to adapt to the new job market and new candidates.
For some businesses, social media has become the only recruitment tactic. All 5 of the staff members at this restaurant sent their applications in response to a Facebook post.
I was just messing around, watching videos and looking at photos, and I saw the status. I was immediately interested.
To maximise visibility, this restaurateur paid €7 per Facebook post.
260 shares, 39 comments, 67 reactions, and a total of 19,590 people have seen the ad.
The hardest part is sifting through the applications, dozens for each post. Social media has become a must for a quarter of workers and nearly 2/3 of companies.
We're going to look at what's happening on the markets for you next. In Asia, mixed picture in trading today. We had some gains in Japan earlier after the gains on Wall Street that we had in trading on Tuesday. The Nikkei in Tokyo finishing the day up around 0.5%. You got some falls though in Shanghai and on the Kospi in Seoul. Investors waiting to hear from the US Federal Reserve later when their 2-day meeting wraps up. We're not expecting any big changes to interest rates this time around though. Some more of the day's business headlines for you next. The French car maker PSA has seen operating profits jump by more than 10% in the first half of the year. The owner of the Peugeot and Citroën brands was boosted by increased sales in markets including Iran and Ukraine. PSA also upgraded its sales forecast for China and Russia for the rest of the year. The Japanese technology giant SoftBank is said to be looking to buy a stake in Uber. Various media reports saying the firm is in talks to buy a multi-billion-dollar share in the ride-hailing company. SoftBank is already a major investor in Uber's Asian rivals GrabTaxi, Ola and Didi. And burrito maker Chipotle is trying to move on from its string of food safety scandals. The chain's shares rose in after-hours trading on Wall Street after it reported better than expected profits for the past 3 months. Its costs rose over the period though, partly due to the rising price of avocados.
Oh, okay. Avocados to chocolate bars. What's your favourite? Mars, Snickers? I used to be quite partial to a Whisper myself. Never been a great fan of KitKat though.
That's terrifying. Yeah. How can you not be a fan of KitKats? Anyway, the story that we're talking about is that Nestle is going to open its first new KitKat factory in 26 years. It's in Japan, and that's all down to the rise in demand for the unusual flavours of the chocolate bar that are available in the country. They include wasabi, matcha tea, sake, and Yubari melon flavours. Now, Nestle has been selling more than 300 varieties of KitKats for decades now, but sales have recently been boosted by an increased number of tourists to Japan. They, in turn, are spending more than ever while visiting Japan. In a special store in an underground shopping centre in Tokyo, the boxes of high-end flavours sell for more than 1,500 yen, or around 11 euros. I've tried the matcha tea and the sake.
Okay.
Bit weird, but quite good.
Bit weird. I want to try a wasabi
See,
one.
there you go.
That sounds quite good, actually. I quite like the sound of a wasabi KitKat. If you're watching KitKat, Nestle, we want them here this time tomorrow. You never know, they might be. Stephen Carroll with Business on France 24. More